Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Living Safe and Empowered. I'm Brett Lechtenberg and I am the anti-bullying expert who will help you get rid of your bullying problems in 3 days or less. Now, in this week's episode, I want to talk about parent safety contracts or internet safety contracts for their children, to be more specific. I've been asked a lot over the last couple of weeks if I think these contracts are a good thing or a bad thing, just a waste of time or whatever. So my general thought is they are a very good thing if they're used correctly. Many parents have come to me and said, you know, we used a safety contract, but our child just broke the contract and we didn't feel it was worth it and it was just a waste of time and it caused us a lot of problems. And I've had other parents that come to me and say, it worked great and we loved it and we're really happy that we're doing it, and then of course everything in between. So here's my experience after doing this a lot of times with a lot of parents and doing this with a lot of children, including my own. If you, the parent, are going to sit down with your child and go through the safety contract item by item, let's say there's 15 items on the safety contract, if you'll sit down and go through your child with each item and explain it, what it means, and then why it's important to their safety, and how it would affect them and their family, then that contract has the chance of being very, very successful. Unfortunately, most parents just sit down in front of their kids, say, here, read this, and I want you to sign at the bottom. And they don't really even take into consideration whether their child even read it. There's no interaction or not much. And so that piece of paper doesn't have any value because there's nobody understand, or the child doesn't understand why it's important. Okay, so that is the number one key. The second thing has to be that children need to be able to come to their parents and tell them candidly if they came across something on the internet that was harassing or vulgar or pornographic or in whatever way made them feel uncomfortable. Now, when a child does that and a parent handles it appropriately by simply talking the child through it, not being over emotional, making sure that they know where that information came from, blocking it or getting rid of it in whatever way, and then walking the child through what to do if they ever come across it again, that's very powerful, and that builds great bonds between the child and the parent. When the parent gets upset, gets mad, especially if it's the first time this has happened or they come across this particular site or information, and the parent gets mad, gets angry at the child, then you are breaking those bonds. That's the parent's fault, not the child's, in my opinion, because you have to use the tools and resources that you have, and you have to be the one that does the rational thinking for your child in that situation, because they have really no experience in that realm and with those things that are happening. And it's our job as a mentor and a guide to help them. So that's the key thing. And then finally, making sure that your children, that both parents are on the same page when it comes to the safety contract and what to do when the incident comes up and something bad is found or the child comes across something. If one parent is rational and deals with the problem constructively, and the other parent either has no idea what's going on or deals with the problem unconstructively, then you're going to get a child that naturally becomes distrustful. If not of both parents, at least of the one that didn't handle the situation very well. So pay careful attention. Both parents have to be on the same page and handle the situation the same way. The goal is to build the bonds, not break the bonds, and everybody has to be on the same page. If you do that, if you do those things, explain the items and why it's important. If children are not punished for first offenses for something and are worked with constructively, and both parents are on the same page, then you have a strong likelihood that those internet safety contracts are going to work out very, very well for you. And that's when, and only when, I say, yeah, go ahead and do it. If both parents can't agree, if it seems like it's only going to be used as a whipping, as a whipping post, or a way to punish your children or claim that they're not paying attention, then don't use it. It's just not for you. It doesn't fit. So that being said, I want to move on to some anti-bullying, anti-cyberbullying, and harassment in the news. And I read 3 different stories this week about companies who fired employees for sending out harassing, threatening, or hate-type social media posts, whether it was on Twitter, whether it was on Facebook or via email. And I don't have all the specifics, but I want to say kudos to those companies. I think it happens way more than people realize, that people are at work and they're sending out negative, bullying, hateful, or threatening material. So to any company out there who is terminating their employees for taking part in such activities, I applaud you. I think that's awesome. Of course, you want to do your due diligence and make sure that you're covering things with your human resource people. But in general, I don't think there's any room for anybody at a work environment to be harassing, threatening, or doing anything else from their work computers or anywhere else for that matter. So kudos to those companies, and I'm sure if you do a little bit of your own research, you can find them yourselves. So good for them. Anyway, that's what I have for you this week. So until next time, use those internet safety contracts. They're available on my anti-bullying and my anti-cyberbullying program. If you found this information beneficial, please subscribe to the channel, share this video, and let's help spread the word and make the world a safer place and prevent bullying wherever we can, prevent cyberbullying wherever we can, and make our children feel safe and empowered. So until next time, live a safe and empowered day.